Now, what is this sovereign immunity the USDA is claiming? Well, from the Free Legal Dictionary, we find sovereign immunity is a judicial doctrine that prevents the government or its political subdivisions, departments, and agencies from being sued without its consent. The doctrine stems from the ancient English principle that the monarch can do no wrong. Did you catch that? This whole sovereign immunity comes from the idea that the monarch, the sovereign, can do no wrong. This is exactly what we tried to get away from in 1776. Read the Declaration of Independence and count how many times they complained that the king could do what he wants. There were no consequences for the monarch because they believed he could do no wrong. This, of course, was because the king was sovereign, which the Free Legal Dictionary defines as a chief ruler with supreme power, one possessing sovereignty. It's also applied to a king or other magistrate with limited powers. What about here in the United States? Well, the Free Legal Dictionary goes on to state, in the United States, the sovereignty resides in the body of the people. That means the government is not the sovereign, and therefore does not have sovereign immunity. Now, that hasn't stopped federal courts at all levels from pretending they do. Rather, courts have argued about whether or not Congress had waived said immunity in the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Yet the lower courts have reached different views on the question of whether federal agencies are answerable under FCRA for their mistakes. Like the Third Circuit, the Seventh and D.C. circuits have held that FCRA authorizes suits against government agencies no less than it does private lenders. The Fourth and Ninth Circuits, by contrast, have held that sovereign immunity bars consumer suits against federal agencies. We agree to hear this case to resolve that conflict. While the Supreme Court notices that the circuit courts are split, it's not on the question of sovereign immunity, but whether Congress had waived said immunity under FCRA.